Good evening, Warriors! Back with another episode of Vigor Warriors 2 and the 1% Club. Hope you guys are doing well. Hope you guys are continuing conquesting everything around you, my friends. Warriors keep battling on every day. A lot of crazy things happening in our world. But one thing is for sure. You need to stay powerful and you need to stay in your purpose. Because that's what's going to make you strong, my friends. We're going to talk about that issue in a second. We're talking about medicine and semen retention. But some shout-outs first. Before we do that, let's go ahead and kind of keep going. Speaking of medicine, Alchemist Star, thank you, my friend. Hamza Redfield, thank you. DJ 3DD, I appreciate it. Jon the Dawn, always. Alvin 1N, thank you, Alvin. Giovanni, thank you, my friend, for your comments as well. Appreciate it. CS, Bob Cool, thank you. Digital Sandbox, again, thank you. Orca, Brian Alonso, PikaSkillz, G. Peterz, No Name, Johnny, and again, Hamza Redfield, thank you, and G. Petri again. So thank you guys for all your shout-outs. Thank you guys. I'm going to shout you out, you guys. Thank you guys for your comments, and I appreciate those a great deal. All right, at 125, 130, we're going to talk about our topic today. We're talking about medicine. This comes from Optical Man, who kind of really talks about the idea that the medical industry really is kind of an illusionary type of thing. Let me kind of get myself a little clearer so you guys can see me. So we talk about this idea of medicine. Let's examine this a little bit, at least my thoughts on this, and I think Optical Man has some of the similar types of thoughts, and I agree with some of the things he's saying. So we look at life, we look at things, and we say to ourselves, okay, we are in a new age, supposedly a new age, in which all the things that we're supposed to be having at our disposal, having our innovations, our inventions, our things that we're using, are supposed to better benefit life. We're supposed to be bringing those to the idea of saying, okay, you're going to live longer, you're going to be stronger. And in fact, we do see that. We see as time goes on, people have lived longer. They've kind of lived better lives in many ways. Medicine's helped them. A lot of different things that we've seen over time allows people to use medicine in ways to help people recover. Obviously, broken legs, those type of things can help you. So we're not saying that medicine and science are bad. Nothing is good or bad, but people make it so. And so when we talk about this situation we're in, and the reason I call this a blue and red matrix is the fact that we've been living in what I call a blue matrix for a while. We have a lot of people, because they want to get profit, they want to control people, they want people to be serfs, all these things occurring. So people are using different things in society to make that happen. And when people become dependent on things, then the medicine, then the things that are being used are not really being used for a positive type of thing. They're used to be making a profit for people, so you become dependent upon those. I saw that with people in my family as they were getting closer to passing away. They kept taking more and more pills, and all of a sudden there were side effects of these pills. They took some more pills, and all of a sudden they were so much on pills that they really couldn't function. And we have a society of people who are taking pills all the time. Now, I'm not saying medicine necessarily is bad again. I'm saying you can use medicine to help you at times. You can use certain things to help you. But as I've gotten older, as I've gotten more into Kelder's Fountain of Youth, which I started back in 1998, as I've gotten into more of retention now in 1,030 some days, I realize that God has put us on this earth, has given us a lot of those tools within ourselves to heal a lot of things that we have. And I really fully believe that. Now, you may think I'm crazy, but I believe that. I believe, warriors, that we have a lot inside. Now, people who lived in past times, past warriors, probably had no way to access this, and they certainly didn't understand the fountain of youth exercises or retention as well. So they don't understand that the nutrients kept in your body can actually make you better, make you feel better. Those things probably were not accessed and used as much as they used to be, or they should have been. And maybe that's why people didn't live as long as they should have back in the old days. A lot of reasons for this. However, medicine can be used as a positive. However, I do think that there's a part of medicine that does not need to be used. And I think Optical Man points to it, that we're in a situation where people are pushing so many pills, they're pushing so many things on us, that you have to wonder, where is the ethical profitability here? That they're making money off us suffering. Now, I will say to you that when it comes to medicine, I won't put anything in my body any longer, and I stopped doing this several years ago, that I won't put anything in my body that I don't feel is right for me. I don't care if it's certain foods. I've been cutting back now, and I see a difference in calories when it comes to carbohydrates and refined sugars, but the same thing applies to any kind of medicine. And I never took any of the kind of medicine we've been talking about over the last couple of years, especially during our situation we've had in this country. I took a lot of grief for that kind of stuff. But once again, I'm not putting something in my body unless I know for sure it's something that's going to end up helping me. And some things can help you. But a lot of times, those things can also, there's things inside your body that can also generate those things as well. So we look at this whole idea of medicine and realizing that we need to look inside of ourselves, take as best care warriors to become the fighting machine you can become. And that means holding on to your energy. That means becoming a superhuman person and not releasing. And transmute the energy inside of yourself so now you become stronger and stronger and stronger. And as time goes on, you'll become, in my opinion, you'll become someone like this 25 years old and you might be 70 years old because you have that strength within yourself. And all these diseases seem not to affect you. And I believe there's all kinds of things in our bodies that could affect us, but they don't. I cannot tell you the last time that I was sick enough to miss work. Must be 20, 25 years ago. I have not missed a day of work in many, many years. It might have been year 2001 or something like that. And that was only because I quit doing the Fountain of Youth stuff for a short period of time. And all of a sudden, surprisingly, I got sick. I don't think it's surprisingly, but I'm being cynical a little bit here. I think certainly what happened was that I let my resources down, I let my guard down, and once again I was releasing, and so part of the problem was that, here again, I was weak. And when you're weak, those type of things can take advantage of you. Look at the person who goes out and parties all night long. They drink, that wears you down. They have intercourse, that wears you down. You lose energy. And who knows? They don't get any sleep. They're also losing energy. So your trifecta there, your troika of illness, no wonder people get sick. And they get a hangover, and all of a sudden, they're out of commission. And so as time goes on, people who think they're having fun by going out and drinking, all this kind of stuff, end up hurting themselves. And then they're taking medicine to get to sleep. So all these things, my friends, go back to saying to yourself, in my mind, now this is my opinion, never put anything inside yourself that you don't know what it is. Make sure you do thorough research before you put any kind of medicine, even aspirin, inside of yourself. Because those type of things very easily can make you addictive. I tell you, so many times I've seen stories and people, and I've known people, they used to have morphine addictions back in the old days. Cocaine addictions, right? People taking different things. They're addicted to certain types of drugs. All these happens because they're taking things on one end to overcome something, but it has a side effect that makes you addictive, and now you become a lot worse in the long run. Now, the question always becomes of the costs and benefits. Anything you're taking, how much is this going to cost me? compared to how much this is going to help me? And that's always the question you kind of have to ask yourself when you're looking at any sort of medicine or anything you're taking. Once again, I'm not saying medicine is bad. I'm not saying it's good. I think it can be used for certain types of things you have. Of course, if you have a broken leg and you're in battle, you're going to need some attention right away. And you're going to need some help. So medicine can be used. I think God uses medicine to help and put people in better situations. However, I think once again, there's an evil side of this society, or let me put it this way, there's an evil one who's using people in this society to deceive people and to give them temptations saying, okay, take all this medicine and you'll be better. When in fact, what they need is God. They need some sort of belief in something besides themselves. It's very interesting to me, and I'll do off the topic a little bit here, when people look to try to get high when it comes not to medicine or drugs, but just activities. We had this discussion today, I did with somebody, talking about the fact that in the old days, I used to try to get thrills many ways, whether it's sexual encounters or whether it was jumping off cliffs, bungee jumping, all these type of things. And I thought to myself, as time has gone on, I don't need this anymore, especially since I've been doing this journey. Well, in many ways, I figured out that basically what I was doing was challenging God. Saying, okay, God, I'm going to break away from you. I'm going to do this regardless of what you think. And hopefully I don't kill myself, right? I somehow challenge myself to go ahead and jump down a mountain, right? Bungee jump, right? Or I did this special thing and took this big chance and I feel better about myself. Well, all you're really doing, in my case, was challenging God and saying, okay, I can do this without you. And that was a mistake, because what happens is it tempts you to move further away from God. And I think in this type of situation, when you become at the point where you're keeping and you're not releasing, I am getting closer to God and realizing all those mistakes I made in trying to push God away from me and thinking I could do everything myself. Why bother? Why bother? And so all these things, these thrills that people have, this excitement people have, this adrenaline that people have for things, what is the overall purpose of this? The purpose trying to build yourself and better yourself, but you don't need to go ahead and challenge God by saying, I can do this without you, type of thing. But we have it all the time, especially with people who don't believe in God. And so they have no need for God. And so this is why they depend on other things. And so they go into drugs, they go into medicine, all these things to make themselves feel better. When in fact, the doctor, the healer, has always been God, in my case, Lord Jesus Christ. And so this is the good doctor we always have. So I find it interesting, we talk about medicine, we're also talking about people who are breaking away from God by using things that they think their God, man-made God, or that another person's God making these things and giving them so-called science, which is your God. And I used to be a researcher for many years, and so I know there's fallacies in any kind of research you do. It's once again determining interpretations of man. All right. Anyway, a good topic, Optical Man. A good topic to think about as a consumer warrior, to understand what you're being sold and what you're putting into your body, to make sure you're finely tuned sports car, I can make an analogy, a warrior can be. All right, thanks, Optical Man. I appreciate your comments. And once again, everybody else, a shout out. I appreciate you guys as well. And we will talk again. And always remember, my friend, 2 things. First of all, have you guys have a great night, by the way. Secondly, first of all, and have a great night. But first of all, every day is a new day to a great warrior. And second, my friends, always remember to battle.